The South African government appears so reluctant taking responsibility for its own institutional failures. Now, let me break it down. South Africa says it has spent about 18.5 million US dollars repatriating foreign nationals. The government says the money covered transportation, temporary repatriation centers, staff overtime, and other operational costs.
Breaking news, the South African government is asking Nigeria, Malawi, and Ethiopia to pay them back their money. I'm talking about 18.5 million United States dollar, which is equivalent to 292 million rands that they used to repatriate their nationals during the immigration crackdown. The South African government is insisting on this because they went ahead and used more than what they had allocated. Initially, they had allocated 60 million.
Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? So guys, I saw this video made by South Africa saying the Ministry of Home Affairs has calculated all the bills they spent in repatriating Nigerian, is it Botswana and Zimbabwe, I don't know, like 3 or 4 countries, is worth 18.5 million dollars, and they're giving this country to pay them, to refund them. Like, I don't even understand. No, I don't even understand. Like, I do not even see South Africans repatriating any people. I saw how Ghana government came there to take their people, and I also saw how Nigerian government came there to take their people. So when did Nigerians get repatriated by South Africa? I don't understand. When did that happen? Because I've been on the internet ever since this nonsense has been happening. This thing of Abahambe. So when did the Nigerian government, I mean the South African government, repatriated Nigerians? In fact, if they want to get the money, in fact, I love how Nigeria said there will be no refund, because when Nigerians, their stuff were being looted, destroyed in South Africa, and they came for compensation, is it that minister of whatever said there will be no compensation, that Nigerians never got anything from South Africa legally. So there is no compensation. We never saw it. We never saw it so far on this internet. I will not be saying this because I'm lying. I saw the truth, then I'm lying about it. I never saw South Africa government repatriating Nigerians. In fact, it was billionaires that contributed money and sent planes to go and repatriate those people. I never saw South Africa repatriate any people. In fact, Zimbabwe is threat to their country. So which people are they talking about? You want to get 18 million? Nigeria, South Africans, you want to get 18 million to revive your career? Is it your economy? You have not seen anything. And my next problem with President Tinubu is that he needs to nationalize that South African company very fast, because he needs to nationalize it very, very fast. In fact, let him add that 18 million to tax them again. They should pay you that money, because South Africa has caused a lot of damages to Nigerians. A lot, guys. Anyway, guys, if you're new on this channel, you have subscribed. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And guys, let's keep hitting. Your subscribers means a lot. Okay, keep subscribing. And guys, take a look and watch this video.
Now, South Africa is asking Nigeria, Malawi, and Ethiopia to reimburse some of those costs. Now, let's be clear. South Africa has the right to enforce its immigration laws, but this isn't the question. The question is, who should pay for the consequences of a system that failed long before this crisis began? What caused a country to reach a point where mobs, not the state, were driving people out? Because this didn't begin with an orderly government operation. If an immigration system is functioning properly, how do you end up with an undocumented population large enough to require centers and staff working overtime? Just so you know, in February, South Africa's own Special Investigating Unit uncovered widespread corruption inside the Department of Home Affairs. Investigators didn't just describe isolated corruption. They said South Africa's immigration system had effectively become a marketplace. Visas and permits were being sold. Officials were accepting bribes. Fraudulent applications were being processed, and investigators traced more than 181 million rand in financial gains linked to fraudulent visa applications. So let's be honest, South African Home Affairs failed in its duty, and when the citizens took that failure into their own hands, the state failed again by failing to protect many of the people who became targets during the violence. This entire crisis was the result of institutional failure. So why should other African governments be asked to help cover the cost of a crisis that was made worse by corruption inside South Africa's own immigration system? And there's another question that deserves an answer. Why are only Nigeria, Malawi, and Ethiopia being asked to pay? What is the actual criterion? Is there a bilateral agreement? Is there a specific legal provision? Is there an international framework that allows South Africa to recover these costs from certain countries but not others? Or were these three governments simply the easiest ones to build? Because that distinction really matters. This whole thing looks less like cost recovery and more like shifting the financial burden of a domestic policy failure onto other African states. If corruption inside home affairs helped create this crisis, and if the state failed to protect many of the people caught up in it, shouldn't South Africa also accept responsibility for the cost of those failures? Thank you all for watching, and drop your thoughts in the comments.
Rands on deportation, and now they've used more than triple of the allocation, talking about 292 million rands, which is equivalent to 18.5 million United States dollar. In fact, it exceeded more than the budget. And as we are speaking, the South African government has written to the Malawian government, Nigeria and Ethiopia embassies through the Department of International Relation and Cooperation, asking them to reimburse the cost. And it's turning out large amount of money was used in transportation. We literally don't know how these particular nations are going to respond, but we know South Africa will not leave all these amounts to slide. Keep watching, we'll keep you updated. In case of any update, I'll keep you on.
South Africa just sent Nigeria, Malawi, and Ethiopia a bill for deporting their own citizens. Let me explain. South Africa's Home Affairs Department spent over 300 million rand this year deporting undocumented migrants. We're talking over 80,000 people processed, way more than what was ever budgeted for. And instead of just quietly eating the cost, the government wrote formal letters to Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Malawi, basically saying, these are your citizens, help us cover what it cost to send them home. Now, is this normal? Actually, kind of. The European Union does this. Gulf countries do this. It's just never really happened at this scale between African countries before. Ghana even tried to get the African Union involved to push back on South Africa. The AU said no and didn't take it up. Meanwhile, Nigeria is already annoyed with South Africa over other issues and has summoned South Africa's acting High Commissioner, and none of the three countries have actually responded to the reimbursement request. So now, it's a waiting game. Does this become a diplomatic standoff, or do these countries just pay up?
South Africa, nobody ask una make una deport anybody. So anything, any time we be una spent, and now come they expect the country will be seen and deport. Media government refund the money back to now. These people now get my do. Imagine now, say, as a Nigerian, we be see you after the pains when I don't poor Nigerians. Eh? I don't know what Jesus Christ. See, the country will be seen now. If you don't know what they made the current you now, they say South Africa, they say the countries they will be saying they'll deport their immigrants, go back. So these countries, so their government has to return back the money to them. When they fly, they go back to their country. People are content to put that one now we're split tire.
So the Nigeria government don't finally reply South Africa. Them say shishi South Africa government no go see. According to report, the former spokesman to Bola Tinubu, Joseph Ono, has rejected the illegal repatriation levies imposed on Nigeria by the South African government. Ono dismissed this demand as an illegal levy, agreeing that Nigeria as a sovereign nation cannot be forced to pay. South African authorities said the bill covered transportation, temporary repatriation centers, accommodation, and staff overtime. The Home Affairs Department called the cost unforeseen and unavoidable. But Ono said Nigeria will not pay a single cent of the repatriation bill. Ono also accused South Africa of ignoring the severe financial losses suffered by Nigerians due to xenophobic attacks. He cited looting, vandalism, and destruction of hundreds of foreign-owned small businesses. Ono said Nigeria is launching diplomatic consultations with Malawi, Ethiopia, and victims. If pushed, He warned Nigeria will forward a multi-billion rand counter demand to cover looted private fortunes.
Nigeria said, "We helped you during apartheid." South Africa said, "Thank you. Here is your bill, $18.5 million. That South African aunties fight. I bought you school uniform in 1985. Pay me now with interest."
For those of you who say, oh, you feel South Africans are now demanding for compensation, South Africans, you must be joking, oh. Because when it's time for you to demand for compensation, you want them to compensate you as what? When you guys were not able to compensate those who you loot their shops in your country, you were not able to compensate them, but you want others to compensate you as what? I want to know. As looters? Anyway, South Africans, please, so you people have to start that march to march back. Oh, you have to start. We want to see your economy go down completely. We want to see about the shops are closed, shops are shut down. You people, like, there's a lot of Africans on your hands, South Africans, and tomorrow you'll be dreaming bad dreams. Tomorrow you'll be behaving like mad people on the street. You don't know, because of the nonsense thing. I think if you look at the DNA of Ghana and South Africa, something similar in their blood. There is something similar about these two countries. There is something. We have to know about it. I'm telling you, they have this aggressiveness in their blood. I'm telling you guys. You might think I'm joking, but I'm not. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys. Bye.